yeah, spoilers. There's going to be spoilers in this video, just to give you that heads up.
Pictures, and you're saying, oh well, the furniture is actually this big bug, and you know, all this, you know, this kind of stuff. So I really like that.
Maybe they shouldn't have made it quite so obvious that it was a dream. Hi guys, we are back. Sisters, authors, and friends. I'm Ellen.
I'm Michelle.
And today we're going to, for our comeback episode of our adaptation series, we are going to do one in honor of Halloween, since Halloween is in a couple of days.
It is.
Yeah. So do you want to tell them what book we're doing?
We're doing Coraline, not Caroline. Coraline.
And we're going to...
by Neil Gaiman.
Yes. And we're going to, like we did in our other adaptation ones, we're going to compare the book to the adaptation. And yeah, it should be fun. But this time we actually figured out how to have a clip that we're talking about in the video. So, or like in the YouTube video. I worded that well. Anyway, so we're going to do that as well. So every once in a while you'll see a clip come up that we're talking about. And yeah. That work?
Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, barring any technical difficulties, I'm going to sit a bit further away from you so that we can have the video like here when we're talking about it. No offense. No, now you're out of frame. I have room to move over. So yeah, we're gonna do that, and we hope you guys enjoy it.
If you do, give us a thumbs up.
Yeah,
and if you haven't already subscribed, I know we do have subscribers.
Yes.
But if you haven't already, then, you know, subscribe, check it out, and smash that bell. Let us know, and we'll let you know when we have new stuff coming up.
Yes. So, ready to get into it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you should move your chair a little bit.
Okay.
Chair rubbings. Not that much.
Well, it also allows more room for that. Yeah, we thought we were all set up before we started filming. We're not. Okay, so yeah, Coraline by Neil Gaiman. I loved this book. I read it on Audible, and Neil Gaiman actually narrated it. And it was just phenomenal. If you can find any of his books where he's narrating it, because I also read Neverwhere that way, and he's just an excellent narrator. He's amazing. What did you think?
Well, I mean, yeah, the narration was awesome. The voices and all the stuff. You can tell he probably reads aloud quite often. I think probably to his kids. And, yeah. So yeah, it was really great. And the nice thing about that is then the actual author, it's their vision of the story that's coming out in it, which I think is special. Yeah,
absolutely. So that brings us to the movie, the adaptation, which I enjoyed as well. But there were some stark differences to the book, which, speaking as a screenwriter, is normal. That's why short stories are better to adapt to film, because it gives you room to add your own visual representation of things. So, and characters in this case. So yeah, any scene you
Well, yeah, that is the challenge with a book, right? Because there's all that inner voice that you have to show and not tell.
Yes.
Right? So yeah, it's, I thought they did a great job. I thought the movie really kept with the spirit of the book, and just that fun, quirky Neil Gaiman, interesting way of looking at things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
And the fact that it's animated gave them more room to play as well with all the visuals in the other world, the other mother's world. They were able to expound upon the circus, and what other things? Like just garden. the garden. Yeah, they had it set up, and then they paid it off later with the snapdragons. I kind of knew as soon as I saw them tickling her and her laughing and all that on the ground, I was like, yeah, they're not going to be as friendly later on in the movie, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So yeah, just spoilers. There's going to be spoilers in this video, just to give you that heads up.
I really liked too that, like in the book, he alluded to the insect kind of side of things, but there wasn't anything plainly said that I can remember.
Yeah.
But then, you know, in the movie, they really kind of did it with illustration, like with, you know, pictures, and you're seeing, oh, well, the furniture is actually this big bug, and, you know, all this, you know, this kind of stuff. So I really liked that, and how the illusion started falling away as Coraline decided, you know, she didn't trust this other mother, and she didn't, and it was all visually happening slowly, gradually, and I really liked that. It was different with the movie than the book. With her traveling to the
I was gonna say, they extended the story a bit to make it long enough for a film. They had her not mistrust the mother right away, the other mother. So they had her kind of like, oh, I'm getting all the attention I want here, I'm getting everything I ask for here, I can play in the mud, I can do all these things, this is wonderful. And they allowed that to continue until the turning point where she realizes, hey, wait a minute, this isn't so great after all. There's a cat eating behind us, so if you hear crunching, that's what it is. But yeah, so they had to extend that a little bit, and they also made it look more like in the book there was a tone of, as there is with a lot of these types of books, where you're wondering, okay, is this the kid dreaming, or is this actually happening? And they kind of alluded to that a bit more, like it was her dream world in the movie.
They straightforward led you to it.
Yeah.
Because she would fall asleep in the other mother's world, and then she would wake up in her own bed again, like her
in
regular
her real
world, right? So that was, you kind of were led to believe, okay, this was a dream.
Yeah.
More so.
And it kind of, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not sure how it couldn't be a dream. If she fell asleep in one world and woke up in another, but yet at the end she comes out and she didn't have to fall asleep to do it. So it's just like, unless they
have you ever
her back.
fallen asleep downstairs in front of the TV, and then woke up upstairs, and you're like, how did I even get here?
Actually, no, I usually can't fall asleep in front of the TV.
Okay, I have fallen asleep in front of the TV, and I know others who have. And, you know, then next thing you know, you're upstairs, and you wake upstairs in bed, and you're like, oh, how did I get here? I don't remember going up here, but I must have, right?
Yeah.
So there's that, but yeah, it's like, why would she end up waking up in her own world, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, then the
other mother is supposed to be magic of some sort, so she could have, I guess, made
But
her.
why would she transport her back?
Yeah, I know.
She'd want
That's
her
the
to
thing.
stay, right? So that's kind of a bit of a glitch there.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a dream, because the other mother's hand did follow her out.
Yes. And
just like in the book.
The last time she came back home, she didn't fall asleep first. She went through the door and down the tunnel and all that stuff.
Yeah, the cat helped her.
Yeah. So I'm not really sure why. Maybe if we watched it again, it might, if we're watching specifically for that at the end, for how it's different. I don't know. That's one anomaly in the movie versus the book, that they made it. Maybe they shouldn't have made it quite so obvious that it was a dream, and then at the end it's not a dream, without making it obvious why it's not actually a dream. So I don't know. But another thing I was thinking about today, it's sort of, which I don't know why I didn't think about it when I was reading the book or watching the movie, but it's sort of it's like that saying, the eyes are the window to the soul. but the other mother doesn't want her to see her soul, so she shuts the doors or shuts the windows.
Interesting.
Puts shutters across her eyes in the form of a button. And then, yeah, so that's, and then the other children are saying in the book, that's another difference. How she took our souls, you have to find our souls and take us back, or please find our souls and take us back with you. But in the movie it was, please find our eyes and
that will release our souls.
Yeah. Which could again be the eyes or the windows to the souls type of deal. But it's
was misleading when, if you watch the book, if you watch the movie first, you're like, okay, so she has to find their eyes. Woo. Is it are they in a jar or something? But then she's finding, actually they weren't all marbles even in the movie. It was like, there was the ball from the circus, there was the gear shift from the praying mantis garden machine, and then what was the other one?
It was actually a marble, wasn't it? There was something from the spider or from the two neighbors.
The pearl. It was the pearl that the two ladies had, right? Miss Sphinx and Mrs. Forcible, right? So yeah, so they were more connected with the visuals that they created in the movie instead of being small glass marbles.
Yeah. Which also,
but again, it wasn't a pair of two eyes.
Yeah.
It was just the one circular thing.
Yeah. So that didn't really fit with Find Our Eyes, but it would have fit better if it said souls, and then we could imagine that she hid their souls in these items. But with the eyes, it. But that was another thing.
Okay.
Sorry, what were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say that she also gave Coraline a hint. Because Coraline makes a deal with her, you know, they're going to play this game. If Coraline wins the game, then she gets the souls of the children, and she gets her parents back, and she gets to leave. And if she doesn't, then she stays and gets buttons sewn on her eyes. And it's a good child or whatever.
That's her other mother love her.
Yes, yeah. But the thing was that those souls, those were the special places that the other mother created, right? So the souls must have powered those things because it was in the mouse circus, the Miss Forcible, Miss Sphinx, wonderful show that they did, and the garden that looked like Coraline.
Yeah, and that's another thing. There were a couple other ways that they extended it to work better for, like, to be a length of the length of a movie. Like, she didn't get the special stone until much later.
Yes, yeah.
And she didn't get, what was the other thing? There was something else that it was just like it happened later on in the story, as opposed to...
Well, there was the tea leaves, because Miss Forcible and Miss Sphinx read the tea leaves twice in the book. I believe only once in the movie, and in the movie they put the two tea leaf readings together, and Miss Forcible and the Sphinx never agreed on what the tea leaves said, where in the book they disagreed in the beginning but then came to agreement on both times.
Yeah. Plus, Miss Spink and Miss Forcible seemed to fight a lot more, argue a lot more in the movie to me than in the book. And the parents, like what you were talking about, the author's vision. We heard, that was the great thing about hearing Neil Gaiman's narration, because we knew how he envisioned the parents being, as opposed to just text on a page. And I think the audiobook came out after the movie. In fact, I'm pretty near positive, because the movie is from like early 2000s, isn't it? I think 2005? I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments if you guys disagree with that. But the parents in the audiobook were a lot friendlier to Coraline. They weren't like yelling at her and saying, "Oh, you're annoying me, you're frustrating me, leave me alone."
Can I go out? I think it's perfect weather for gardening.
No, Coraline, rain makes mud. Mud makes a mess.
Mom, I want stuff growing when my friends come to visit. Isn't that why we moved here?
Something like that. But then we had the accident.
It wasn't my fault you hit that
I
truck.
never said it was.
Can't believe it. You and Dad get paid to write about plants, and you hate dirt.
Coraline, I don't have time for you right now. And you still have unpacking to do. Lots of unpacking.
Alone, you could hear their frustration, but they weren't being nasty or yelling at her. Now, I mean, later on, a little later in the movie, you do find that the mother is just really stressed about the situation, that they don't have food and they don't have these things. She can't afford to get Coraline these things, even though she wants to. But in the book, you could hear the frustration without them being cranky and mean to her, which I guess maybe they did that to make it more believable for her to trust and like the other mother sooner, longer, and make it last longer. So yeah, that might have been a purposeful decision. That, but also giving the viewers the moment to see something that Coraline doesn't see, and giving us that visual of the mother kind of when she's on her way out the door, when Coraline says, "No, I'm not going with you to get groceries. You never get me what I want. You always say that you will," or whatever. And you see the mother actually saddened by that. Like she's just kind of, you see the stress and the sadness for her, that she really wants to give her daughter what she wants, or what she asks for, but she can't afford to right now. Like they're having money stresses and they're having this stuff. So the mother is taking it out on Coraline and on her husband, but it makes it more believable that Coraline would be more likely to want to stay in the other world for the length of time that she does, until she realizes that the other mother is like way worse than her mother. But yeah. With the book, it's a little softer, much softer, I guess. And I don't know, the dad is more playful, I think. In the book? I think he's more playful in the book, more like genuine kind of playful. Yeah, like the other father. Yeah. He's like actually trying to find her a way to entertain herself, as opposed to being mad and saying, you know what, the house is this old, go find some stuff to whatever, right? Go count the windows or whatever. But in the book, he's more, oh, well, why don't we make it a game? Why don't you do this? And he just... he's... But, that's a really good point. So, because they had to extend her staying, because in the book, after being there for just a little while, her first visit, she's like, yeah, this is not where I want to be. This is not good. And she recognized it right away, and wasn't I think she probably recognized it in the book, but she was a little bit more open to it, just because she liked the idea of getting stuff that she wanted and everything. I agree. Yeah. And also the food. And I'm just realizing, as we're talking about why they made the parents meaner, not mean, but like crankier in the movie than in the book, to extend it. I think they also made the visual representation of her real father's cooking. Like in the book, I got the impression that she was just a picky eater. So like she didn't like the spices that he added. She didn't like this and that and the other thing. She just wanted like frozen dinners and whatever. I think it was frozen dinners, wasn't it? Or something frozen. French fries. French fries, that's what it was. She wanted French fries. That's all she wanted to eat. But in the book, or in the movie, you're seeing this stuff that he's slopping on her plate, and it's because he's trying to make what he can with the food that they have. But it's actually really bleh. It makes the other food look even that much better. But I think in the book, Dad liked to play with the food and didn't make it really simple and bland. Well, I wouldn't say bland, but didn't make it very simple. He wanted to add a little spice and a little something new.
and Coraline's like, I don't like spice, I don't like new, I just want the regular stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, the food looked really, really gross.
Look, I was on Coraline's side in the movie, especially when it came to the food.
It looked gelatinous. We'll leave it at that.
Like just kind of, even the sound effects when he plopped it on the plate. And then the reverse is the food in the other world that's like, you know, there's roasted chicken and a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Mom used to always say it when something was useful in different things.
Functional?
Functional. A very functional chandelier that would lower down and you could just use the little spout to pour yourself whatever drink you want. Yeah. And yeah, that was cool. I want one of those.
I liked the gravy train.
Yes. Choo choo. That was awesome. But yeah, I think as we're discussing this, I'm understanding more about why they made the choices they made for the movie. And I'm liking the movie more in my head than I did when I actually watched it. So.
And another big difference in the movie as opposed to the book is there's a whole character that did not exist before. Actually 2 characters, but you don't really see his mom, kind of like with Big Bang Theory and Howard's mom.
His grandmother.
His grandmother. You don't see her till the very end. You just hear her, Howard! No, I mean, not Howard.
What? Is it Wybe? Yeah, Wybe.
He calls himself Wybe.
Wybe, but yeah, it's Wyborn is his full name.
Yeah. So he didn't even exist, but he is basically Caroline's inner voice.
Oh, Coraline.
Coraline. There we go again.
Sorry, Coraline.
So yeah, he's Coraline's inner voice. He's doing her. He's saying those different things that she's thinking and stuff, or helping her to voice those things that she's thinking instead of just thinking them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was a really good addition. I like how the cat of course helps too, but yeah, why
especially in the beginning when the cat isn't there yet. She's able to voice those inner thoughts, like you said. And I felt bad for Wybe at first, though. She was really mean to him.
Well, you know, to be fair, he scared the living daylights out of her.
That's true.
And he knew it.
And it seemed like, though, did you get the feeling, that would have scared me, did you get the feeling that they knew each other before? No? Because in one instance, it didn't seem like they did. But in another instance, she seems to, like when she's calling him the town geek or whatever, it just seemed like she knew him at least a little bit, but they just moved there, so that didn't make sense. So, okay, yeah, I digress. But the cat I loved. I loved the cat, and I loved both Neil Gaiman's narration of the cat and, is it Keith David or David Keith? There's 2 actors that I
think it's
their names.
Keith David.
Yeah, so do I.
You can continue.
Okay. But yeah, it's the cat. I mean, you guys know I love cats, so I guess that's not a surprise that I loved that character. But they did a really good job narrating the cat as well.
Keith David.
Keith David. Okay. They did a really good job of narrating or animating the cat. Just with the way he walked and the way he'd scrunch down and wiggle his bum before attacking and all that stuff. So yeah.
In some parts, he was reminiscent of the Cheshire cat from Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
The cartoon. Yeah. So yeah, kind of the way he was walking through things and showing her basically the kind of weird way that this world
puts his head in one end of the log and comes out at the other end of the log while his hindquarters are still here. So he's like really long.
Yeah, so I really liked the cat. He was fun.
He was
very cool. He's very cat-like.
Yes, very much cat-like. And he was, like, I don't know, there was just the personality of his voice, but also when he would turn to meowing or like when he'd be actually afraid. I don't know, I feel like him jumping into her purse while she ran up the stairs. I feel like he would have gotten up there faster on his own.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he
Well,
might
in
have
the
been.
book, he did.
She's trying to protect him.
He did what cats actually do is, you know, they're either gonna, you know, they're
Attack.
either gonna attack or they're gonna run, right?
Mhm.
And he just was
Fight
kind
or
of
flight.
standing his ground, and she was like, "No, we got to get in," and she just scoops him up, right?
Yeah.
And he was okay with that, and
As long as
she's
he's
like-
not making the decision to run, then he's okay with it.
But yeah, so yeah, some minor differences, and I'm sure most of them. It seemed like most of them made sense for just trying to make the story visual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the
Which
whole,
they did a great job at.
Yeah, the whole feeling of the story and
The tone.
the tone, yeah, everything. It
still
stuck
worked.
with the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The creepiness of it, and like that opening with the what we now know is the mother's hands creating the dolls, like taking one doll, taking the buttons off the eyes and unstitching the hair and all that stuff, and then recreating it and redressing it to look like Coraline. They made an excellent choice for the score that went through that, because it was sufficiently haunting. I was like, you know the tone of the movie when you see that intro, you know what you're in for in the movie.
There was no doll in the book, though.
No doll at all?
No, she had dolls that she used at the very end to lure the other
Right.
mother to the well. And that whole well thing happened differently because in the book, Coraline planned it all.
Yeah.
You know, very
And yeah,
very creatively and
yeah.
very sly. She
Yeah.
was sly about it.
she's very clever
Stealthy.
and
So
and
yeah,
tricked the other mother's hand.
yeah. It was
But-
just still reaching out there trying to get the key.
Yeah, and they didn't, and it could have been just something they edited out, but they didn't make it clear that the dog got scratched. They said how the dog hasn't been feeling well or whatever. But in the book, it was very clear that the dog had like a gouge out of its side or whatever, got scratched, and they didn't know what could have done it or how it could have happened. And you know it's leading up to the hand being the one that did it. But they didn't make that clear in it. And then the whole plan where she goes to see how the dog is doing because she knows that the hand is in there somewhere.
Listening.
Yeah, and raises her voice and says, "Yes, I'm going to the well." But yeah, it was still a really well done movie. But they took out little scenes, I guess, for editing. I'm assuming maybe it was too long, and those scenes ended up on the editing room floor.
I don't think it was the scenes ending up in the editing room floor.
Oh, yeah, 'cause the whole thing was
totally
different.
rewritten differently.
The whole thing was different. Yeah, she didn't expect the hand to attack her. That's right. She wasn't expecting the hand there when she went to the well, because she screamed when it attacked and it caught her off guard. She might have been expecting in some way, but it wasn't as well planned as it was in the book, where she saw the hand coming and, oh, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go in this position and all that. It was more the hand arrived either before she expected or whatever.
I think.
Was she even expecting
When I
it?
think about it, I don't think she fully expected it. What she was
Yeah.
planning to do is take the key and put it down the well so that the hand couldn't get it.
Yeah.
Right? And on the way, the hand tried to grab it.
Right.
Wybie came down, and all the stuff happened, and then they put it all down the well together, right? So it still ended the same with the hand and the key down the well.
Yeah.
But I think it probably would have been too difficult to visually represent what she was planning
Yeah. Without her actually voicing it.
Yeah, and then there
And
would have
then
been
the hand
all
would
this, because she took a surreptitious
Yep.
route and went and got stuff and then snuck here and there and then came back to the house as if she'd been away and came back. And the so the hand wouldn't realize that she had set up all this stuff beforehand, like moving the planks of the well that are over the well and put that tablecloth there, right? And all the cups with water in it. And then she brought her dolls and put them beside each cup and all this stuff to lure the hand over there, and once the hand got there, right?
Yeah.
But all of that would have been probably very difficult and lengthy to represent in film.
Yeah.
So I think it just they decided it would probably be better to do it that way.
And you remind me of another thing that they did to visually represent something that was internal dialogue. The song that her father used to sing to her as a kid, that was just at the end, and she said, or the narrator said, Coraline sang a song that her father wrote for her when she was a baby, and instead of like her just singing a song out of the blue and not being able to say, like she wouldn't say, oh, my father sang this for me. They actually put the song in earlier in the book, and then even had the other father sing a song for her as well, which was allowed to show, it allowed the viewer to see the differences between the fathers. In the, I can't remember what the lyrics were in each song, but they were different in their tone and rambunctiousness. So yeah. Anything else you want to say about the book or movie?
No, I really enjoyed them both. I saw Coraline a long time ago with my children. By the way, when I was looking up the name of the guy, the person that did the voice acting for the cat,
Keith David,
it's actually 2009 that it came out.
2009. Okay, so
So I watched that with my girls, and it is a favorite in our house. But I'd never read the book. I think one of the girls did, but
I read the book last year when we were planning to do this, and then I read it again when we were planning to do it for this Halloween. It didn't happen last year, but so it's been a plan of ours for a while to do this in our adaptation series. We just were never able to do it last year, but I had never watched the movie before, so we watched that for the first time yesterday, and it was really, really well done. I'll put up on the screen here when the actual audiobook was narrated, but I'm pretty confident it was done after 2009, just with when audiobooks really became prevalent was, I think 2016 or 17. There were audiobooks done before that, but anyway, I'll put it up on the screen when the actual audiobook was narrated by Neil Gaiman. But I mean, yeah, I highly recommend any of Neil Gaiman's books that he narrates on Audible. Read it that way. It's just, he's such an amazing narrator.
Yeah, he is. He's really
awesome.
Great. Yeah, he's fun to watch. I've watched him on YouTube with some, I think it was GQ questions or something. And yeah, he's very entertaining guy. I like him. But yeah, so I recommend both. Both the book and the movie, excellent, and they do both of them. Like really, you can enjoy both and enjoy the differences, and both of them are similar tone and fun and wonderful, and kids would love it too. I think it's a good family movie.
Yeah, agreed. So anyway, that's what we have for you today. If you liked what you saw, you liked the video, be sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, click the bell so that you get notified when we upload new videos.
Smash that bell. Just smash it.
That's what the cat would say. And thanks for watching. Have a great day. Stay happy. That was Mugwai laughing at us. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. Bye-bye.